Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on today. Happy Friday. I'm really excited to have David from F&G with us. David has been absolutely amazing to work with. And just so you know, I've been here for nearly 2 years now. And so David and F&G has always just been such a consistent carrier and company for us to partner with. And so, David, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we always do, I like to just do a little bit of housekeeping and just refresh some of our IAMS currently contracted agents with some of the stuff that we have here. And then for our newcomers, this will be new, of course, and just some IAMS value propositions. So I will be nice and sweet and simple with this. So I will go ahead and jump into that. So for new producers, we do have our new producer builders, and we start off at the $100,000 level, all the way up to the $1 million level. So whenever you write your first $1 million with us within the first 180 days, you do get quite a bit incentive here. You can get 8 to 10 preset annuity appointments or some seminars that we can do. And then at the $100,000 level, you do already also get some mailings, an iPad, $750 cash. And so about this slide that you're looking at, you see a lot of different things. I don't want you to feel limited to what is on this screen because it's fully customizable. A lot of our agents that come to us, they already have marketing. So if you already have marketing, feel free to use it and just send us the receipts and we'll reimburse it by half. So, what we do here at IAMS also, once you are past the 180 days, you actually graduate into the marketing reimbursement program that we have. We call those marketing dollars. And so what we do there is for every $100,000 of annuity premium you're doing, you get $100 back. And if you're already using some marketing, we do reimburse that by half. And then we've also got single premium life and life target premium because, our bread and butter that we do here at IAMS is life and annuities. So on the single premium life side, we do for every $100,000 of single premium life premium, that is $200 that you get reimbursed. And then you do $10,000 of life target, you get $200 as well. So um, pretty generous there, I would say. And then we do also have our referred producer program. Now, this is really nice because, especially lately, what I've come across are people that are heavily recruiting but don't necessarily like to recruit. They actually like working by themselves, but because of other structures, they may feel like they have to. Here at IAMS, you are truly and 100% independent, and I'm not ever, as a marketer especially, going to push you to build a team if you don't want to. But what we will do is, if you do have some colleagues, if you do have some people that you could benefit of our services or need help getting appointed with carriers like F&G, for example, you do get a $50 one-time bonus when you refer that agent, and that's just as a thank you. You are not their upline. You are just someone referring someone over to us, just like a client will refer someone over to you. It's the best thank you and best compliment that you can get. And so we work that same way. And the nice part about this too is you do get a little bit over the override. That override does not come from your colleague's commission. It actually comes from us, from IAMS, as a thank you again for sending someone over to us because we love doing business with fellow agents like yourself. And so on Life Target, you get 0.15%. On indexed annuities, you get 0.20%. SPL, you get 0.075%. And then on MIGA Business, 0.10%. So it's not as much as you would do as an upline or if you're building an agency, which we do have programs for people that do actually like to build agencies. I, for example, work with about 5 right now. But it's a little bit of override and it's something you wouldn't necessarily have had. Um, anywhere else. So I do think we have a lot of generous incentives here at IAMS. We also offer great back office support. Um, I would say, you have your marketers. So we have some of the top marketers, I'd say, here in the industry. Not only are they the top, they're also long-standing. So we have some marketers here that have been here for the last 30 years, actually going into their 31st year this year. And then another one about 16, maybe 17 or 18 years now in the industry. Um, and the nice part is because, they've grown with you, for example, they know every single piece of the pie of the new business processing, everything. Do they necessarily do everything from the whole start of the like prospecting application all the way to getting that issued? No. And that's because we have a new business team that's dedicated to that. And we do have a fantastic business team. I think our back office support is what makes us stand out against the crowd because I know there's like a bunch of different IMOs, but what makes us unique is the people. No one else has a Mackenzie Abbott. No one else has a Cindy Donnelly. Cindy Donnelly manages the F&G new business team here that we have here at IAMS, and she's done so many different things for my agents to get things issued and across the board. So really, really thankful to have these type of people that work here that are dedicated. So that comes with the back office support. You do also have your IAMS portal. The IAMS portal has a lot of stuff in it as well. This operates as a very independent back office support. You have quoting tools on there, you have your sales resources library, you have a whole annuity grid is annuity rate watch. So you're also able to see what your competitors are maybe doing out there. And so that puts you in a competitive advantage because as an agent, you want to one establish that relationship, of course, but two, you also want to make sure that you are providing some of the most competitive things. And just so you know, F&G on the safe income product, safe income advantage, that usually comes out like top 5 for a lot of what we do here. um, on the income quoting side. So if you're not already using F&G, I would highly encourage you to pay attention to this webinar and everything that David's got to say because he put together a lot of good material for you. And it is a good product at the end of the day with an A-rated carrier. And some other things that we have on our website and for us to utilize is um, we do have something called, and I'm going to go back to this a bit later, I just didn't want to forget, but we do have marketing kits. So if you guys are looking at my screen, I don't have anything to hide here. These are all of the different sales kits that we have. We have so many, and it takes a lot of time for our creative department to put this stuff together and to keep it updated. Right now, we actually have our IAMS Lifetime Income FIA kit. There's 3 different pieces of material that you can use in here, just some different things that we could also white label. Looks like I can't preview this file here. It's just that exclusive, but um, we do have different materials like this for prospecting, for educational pieces within your appointments, because you might have clients saying, well, why would I do this when I can do that? Well, here, this is why. Here's a whole kit that's dedicated to telling you why you should put it into a fixed indexed annuity. So we do have those options there available for you as well. All you got to do is request them. And then these are the EAP solutions that we have: Luma Firelight, iPipeline, all the good stuff that you already know, love, and use. So we use all of that stuff and we keep it all under one portal, the imzinc.com portal. Our creative services, now I bragged a little bit about them a second ago with all those sales kits that they put together for us. So they help our agents and they help us marketers too. And they really do a whole lot and they're so dedicated. And because of the amount of agents that we've had come on to IAMS, we've had to hire more people. And so they're all working on different agency solutions like logo design or digital solutions like websites, email, templates, all that stuff. And then they do also have turnkey solutions for people that still hand out paper things. So like flyers, brochures, handouts, all that good stuff. And then we've got our IAMS wealth management team here. This is great for people that are on the AUM side. If a portion of your business goes to AUM, I highly encourage you to get involved with our guys on the IAMS wealth management team. They actually opened up a brand new office that's super close to us. It's a beautiful office, something they really deserve because those guys work so hard and are also just the nicest people that I've ever met, and they're just so sharp and really knowledgeable with what they do. And what they do is they help you increase your revenue, they help you improve your client retention, and they also strengthen the relationships that you have, because the clients and the prospects, they definitely view you differently as a fiduciary. So they really, really make sure that they're providing the utmost high level service that they can to their advisors, so that the advisors can go ahead and do the same thing with their clients. And they do have a starter program for people that are aspiring to go on to the AUM side. And then we do have our Life and Annuity Academy. Our Life and Annuity Academy, we have been busy this year. We're in annuity academy season, Life and Annuity Academy season. I think at the total of the end of the year, we will probably have done 5 by the end of this year. So our last one is still tentative, but it may be in October. And then our next one is actually going to be just an IUL Academy, and then the next one that we have here in Omaha at our headquarters, well, we'll get to meet face to face. That one will be in August. I believe that one is the 20th through the 22nd. So all of those dates and registration is already up for grabs on our IAMS portal. And if you have any questions, just give me a call. We are almost near the end of this, but this is our trek to Quebec. Now you have 3 days, 3 days to finish up this qualification period. Um, we are super, super close, but we've been really excited in getting people qualified to come with us to Quebec. You need 5 million points to qualify, and everything that you do here with this trip counts. So whether you're doing life business, annuity business, senior health business, all of that counts toward the 5 million points to qualify. So definitely just let us know if you've been on your incentive trips with former IMOs, or if you haven't, maybe check in with us and see what the next one will also be for, because again, all of the production counts toward incentive trips, and we always have an IAMS collective incentive trip. So this one may be coming to an end, but just know that your points, uh, submitting business, that's all just going to be going toward the next trip. So just something to keep in mind there. And then we're at the end of our value propositions. This is a follow and like. So like us, follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, all that stuff. Call us. We really love that when you call in, because we always love talking to agents, of course. And so without further ado, I will just go ahead and launch one poll and hand this right over to David. Um, So the first one, would you like to register with IAMS for any additional resources? I'll go ahead and launch that. If you could kindly just answer that, that would be very helpful for me and for the team. And so some of these resources include that annuity awareness kit, or the FIA lifetime kit that I could send you with the prospecting material. So thank you for voting. I'm going to close that up. And I have one more poll. Would you like to attend an upcoming Life and Annuity Academy? So again, registrations are now open, so feel free. This is really the only time that I ever really get to see people, so definitely register. Alrighty, thank you guys for voting. I'll go ahead and close this poll and hand it over to David. David, you ready?
I am ready.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Let me figure out how to switch this over.
And I will
I
say,
felt
for those of you that are on the call that are looking to qualify for Quebec City, I just came back from there. I spent a week there. It is a fantastic city, especially that hotel and all the surrounding areas. And August is going to be such a great time to be in Quebec City. So I hope if you're on the call, you qualified. If not, we hope to see you at the next one. I was gonna say when I logged on today, it's brand new. So we're trying it out for the first time and work through some of the kinks live here. But I'm excited. I like the marketing you came up with for this webinar. Top income with a fixed index annuity power player, which I think is so true. When you look at the market share that F&G has garnered, and there we go. Looks like now it's letting me share my screen here. So I
perfect.
think you
And
can
thank you,
see that
David.
today. Yeah, no,
Uh-huh.
you bet.
Yeah, I see it.
You bet.
And nice. You just came back from Quebec, it sounded like.
I did, and
Nice.
just on a family trip, and it was really awesome. And I think those that are on here have um, that have qualified, you're gonna love it. And for those that didn't qualify, maybe a little motivation to qualify in the future, because that's definitely going to be a great trip for those that are have qualified.
Yeah, for sure. I wish I could come with you guys, but I don't work as much as you guys do, so
Next year, Kat, you're going to be
yeah,
there too
next
next
year.
year. I've got the faith.
For sure.
But yeah, thank you for having me on here today. I think it's a really good time to be here and talking about the Safe Income Advantage specifically, but just the company of F&G, what we've really been building for these last 5-10 years. I think you'll find is really the company that you want to partner with today in today's market environment. But we really are a fixed index annuity power player, and all the advisors on this call that are appointed with us are going to get an awesome email on Monday just explaining why it's even better to do business with us and why it's such a great time to do business with us here at F&G. And as Kat mentioned, my name is David Downing. I'm the national account manager here at F&G that works with IAMS. So chances are, if you're at a live event or a virtual event, you'll see myself or my boss, Ms. Tia Stanley, or our internal wholesaler, Jennifer Howe. But just one of the people here at F&G that gets the great pleasure to work with IAMS and all advisors at IAMS. Quick agenda. We're going to cover really quickly, kind of like the IAMS commercial. We're going to do a quick F&G commercial. Then we'll hit you with the Safe Income Advantage, which is really the top income product. And it's allowed two of my parents to retire with confidence. And then we'll talk about some resources that are available for you. And without further ado, when you think about F&G, I love starting with our mission statement. Our mission is to help people turn their aspirations into reality. And a lot of the clients that we hear from or have that are our products, their aspirations are to retire with confidence. And that's what we strive to do every day. The slide's actually a little bit dated, but we were established in 1959, so over 60 years in the marketplace, but over 1 million people protected with either our annuities or life insurance today, and over 1,000 employees in and around the Des Moines metro area and across the country. So really, we're helping people to retire with confidence, turn their aspirations into reality, but also to protect as many people as possible. And as part of protecting as many people as possible, we've actually been recognized as really one of the financially stable companies in the marketplace today. AM Best just moved us up to an A rating from A minus to A, and if history has any way of repeating itself, AM Best generally moves first, and then S&P, Fitch, and Moody's tend to follow. So we're really excited about that A rating. A's across the scorecard. So if you're looking for a company that you're confident in doing business with, that's going to be around not just for the next few years, but for the long haul, that's what this scorecard really represents for us. When you think about F&G, been around for a long time. 1959 is when we were established, but really the last 5 to 7 years is when we've really hit our stride. And that all started with our partnership with Blackstone. And I'll highlight that here in the next slide. But that really is what propelled us into this F&G that you're going to get to know today. This F&G power player that you're going to get to know today. But in 2020, we were purchased by F&F. For those who don't know what F&F is, Fidelity National Financial, they're the largest title insurance company in the United States. So if you have a mortgage, chances are you have title insurance. Good chances are it's with F&F. So you think about the mortgage industry versus the annuity industry, it's really kind of a nice hedge for them and kind of a nice ebb and flow. So when mortgages are hot, rates are down. When rates are up, annuities are hot. So it's a really good hedge. And of course, with that purchase came some of the awesome rating upgrades to A-. And then just a couple other things that are relevant here are those A's. You'll see 3 different distinct A's that are recognized on the screen, but also in 2022, we were spun off as a publicly traded company. And I think that's really important for your clients and just in terms of transparency. So if you have that client that wants to see a end of first year, or excuse me, our quarterly statements, things like that, it's all out there as a publicly traded company. So it just allows more transparency for your clients where they put in their money with an A-rated carrier. But if they want to deep dive into our financials, it's available. We all know the type of client, right? The CPA, engineer, etc., publicly traded. So it's all public information, which I think is good in terms of transparency. And then, of course, as I mentioned, just to highlight the partnership with Blackstone, and I can sum up all of these great bullet points here, but the biggest thing with our partnership with Blackstone is we're looking for sustainability with them. And when I say sustainability, I'm not talking green energy and Teslas and things like that, but making sure that we're able to stand behind the rates that we're offering today to make sure we're not a fire sale company. So when you sit down with your client, year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because these are long-term commitments between you and your client. We want to make sure that what we're offering them today is sustainable for the life of the contract. And that's what the partnership with Blackstone is all about, is finding those high-quality, sustainable assets that can continue to garner positive inflows for F&G, so we can continue to offer that to your clients. And that was enough of my, as Kat said, her IAMS commercial. My F&G commercial has concluded. You can clearly see we are the fixed index annuity power player that Kat was alluding to in the invite to this meeting, but really just a financially strong company, a stable company that has really awesome products like the Safe Income Advantage we'll talk about today. And when I think about the creation of this product and how it all came about, it really came about from information we gathered from clients. And we send out surveys, risk tolerance surveys every year. And every year we see a lot of the same responses, but around 5 years ago, we started seeing some different responses. And when it comes to the key concerns that those retirees were looking at, the number one concern we always see is clients are concerned about running out of money when they retire. When we think about today's retirement, clients are retiring differently. Pensions aren't around, things like that are around. So ultimately what happens is they have their 401k, which likely are not even as old as your clients that are retiring, because 401ks, IRAs haven't been around that long. So clients are having to figure out this landscape of retiring today differently than they have ever before. And the number one thing clients have continuously been concerned about is living too long, running out of money, right? Because they retire, they have that $500,000 or $1 million in their 401k. How can they make it last? But alongside of that, clients, what we're seeing more and more frequently is clients are concerned about maintaining their lifestyle. They want to live in the same house, in the same neighborhood, do the same activities they're doing today when they retire. And with cost increasing, with continued pressure around inflation, it tends to impact retirees even more than it does those that are still working, because if you're still working, you can pick up more hours, get a new higher paying job, etc. But when you're retired, those increasing costs around insurance, utilities, just fixed increasing costs can really make it difficult to retire in today's environment. In addition to that, we've seen clients today are looking for stability. And it's funny, this actually didn't come out, or this came out based on last year's data. I'm sure if we looked at after April and the tariff conversations, clients today, more than ever, are looking for more and more stability as we head into more and more volatile times with tariff talks, wars potentially happening, things like that on the horizon can make it really difficult to retire with confidence. And when we look at only 14% of investors own an annuity, but then we also think about what they're looking for in retirement, having guaranteed income for life, protection against inflation, and some accumulated income. Where are they finding that at in today's market if they don't own an annuity? And that really represents a huge opportunity for everybody on this call is, are you talking guaranteed income with your clients? And if you're not, you may be missing a really huge opportunity when you think about what retirees are looking for in today's environment. And one of the things that really makes the Safe Income Advantage a unique product in today's environment is the way that we view guaranteed income, because we have not one, not two, but three different options for guaranteed income on the Safe Income Advantage. And what you'll find throughout this presentation is that on the Safe Income Advantage, we really allow extreme flexibility for the client, because each of these income options that you see available here with fixed, increasing, inflation-based, or level, none of these have to be selected until the time your client decides to turn on guaranteed income. So what that means is we may be talking to your client today about inflation, increasing income, but needs may change when they go to turn on income down the road. And that increased flexibility, I think, is what you'll find really makes this product not only a top income option just in terms of level guaranteed income, but also in terms of increasing income with some flexibility and some differences that we'll highlight here. But none of these have to be selected until the client decides to take that very first guaranteed income payment. So at time of application, this doesn't matter. But when your client wants to turn on that income, it matters. So the three different options: fixed increasing, that increases 3.5% each year. Inflation-based, which increases 5% each year. It never decreases. So if we go into a situation like China with deflation, things like that, the amount that they receive will never decrease. And then, of course, we have level, which will give them the most upfront. And I think it's beneficial to look at these three on a time horizon. So you'll see with the green line there at the very top, the levelized amount is going to give them the most money in their pockets upfront. And then when you look at increasing income, 3.5% historically outpaces inflation. So if you have a client that has a history of longevity, it may make sense to take a little bit less upfront for a longer runway in the future. And then, of course, we have the two different inflation-based options, one showing 5%, which used to be a far-off fantasy, right? Seeing 5% year-over-year inflation. Well, if you read the Fed reports, they actually ratcheted up their projection for inflation this year up above 3.5% for their targeted inflation. So again, 5%, that's just like a cap, right? So each year it can go up 5%. So a year like last year where inflation was up over 6%, if your client chose an inflation-based income, this year they'd be seeing a 5% increase to their guaranteed paycheck with F&G. But again, the flexibility to have the option to choose is really what sets this product apart, besides from having three different options for guaranteed income. And then we'll talk a little bit about the meat and potato slide, as I call it. There's a lot of information here, but I want to highlight a few things that really make this product different. The first one is not actually on the screen, but you can take guaranteed income day one. So if you have a client that has a pension and they're maybe looking to replace that pension and start retirement income right away, or they just left their job and they're ready to rock and roll, day one income is available and it's very competitive. I think Kat mentioned Annuity Rate Watch. I think you'll find us in that retirement red zone from age 60 to age 70, being in the top 3 carriers for guaranteed income across the board. In addition to that, it has a roll-up rate. So every year your client defers income, we ratchet up their income base by 7.2%. That is compounded annually. But the big bullet point there is it's credited daily. that allows some really awesome flexibility for your client that wants to turn on income 1 year, 6 months from now, because what we found is retirement tends to not be linear. It tends to be very flexible. So when it comes to turning on guaranteed income, having a roll-up rate that credits daily just really allows to that flexibility or flexible story with this product, which is if your client decides to retire tomorrow, they're going to be in a better situation with the F&G Safe Income Advantage than they would be with a competitor that credits their roll-up rate at the end of a statement year, because ultimately, if they turn on income mid-year, they're missing out on all those gains with our competitors. But with F&G, credited every single day. We talked about the 3 different income options, and then I'll expand a little bit on the impairment multiplier, which ultimately, if your client can't do 2 of 6, we're going to double their income until their account value equals 0. So not only do we have competitive income, flexible income with a lot of different options, we also have some really great living benefits that are available here too. Now we think about the 7.2% compounding roll-up rate. Hopefully everybody on the call knows the rule of 72, which is a really awesome story for your clients because it's so easily digestible. Most amateur investors know about it, which is if you get 7.2% compounding for 10 years, you double your number. So for our income base, if you put in 100,000 and you wait for 10 years, your income base is going to grow to $200,000 guaranteed, which ultimately drives a higher paycheck or higher guaranteed paycheck for your client. So the rule of 72, we decided to go with that simplified messaging, 7.2% compounding roll-up rate, flexible income options, and then of course we have the impairment multiplier, which ultimately, if your client can't do 2 of 6 daily living activities, so if they can't, sorry, my slides are going crazy here, but if they can't eat, bathe, dress, continue to go to the bathroom, transfer, toileting, we will double their payments. And what I've heard about this and what I know about this rider is it's incredibly flexible. It doesn't require a confinement. All we need is a signed physician's letter stating that the client can't do 2 of 6 daily living activities and that it's expected to be permanent from their licensed physician, and we can start paying that benefit right away. Again, this isn't a confinement-based rider, which ultimately a lot of confinement-based riders clients never receive. They end up dying before they receive it. But this is an awesome benefit that I've seen go paid several times in my tenure here at F&G. So easy to access, easy to use, flexible. There's a 3-year wait period, so you got to have the contract in force for 36 months, and the client can't be impaired in the first 12 months. So there are some stipulations around it, but what you'll find about this rider compared to others in the marketplace is it's incredibly easy to access. And it's a really great opportunity for your clients to have a living benefit if they don't have long-term care, things like that. What does it look like? Let's say clients would be receiving a $25,000 guaranteed payment from F&G on the Safe Income Advantage. They can't do 2 of 6 daily living activities. We'll call year 4 of the contract. We're going to double their income to $50,000 until they're out of cash value if it's a single annuitant. If it's a joint annuitant, we're going to double it 1.5 times. So great benefit, not only for a single annuitant, but also a really awesome benefit. And yes, it does cover both lives. So as long as there's a single dollar of cash value, they have the ability to use the impairment multiplier for a husband and wife, should each need care. So great benefit for one person, but an even better benefit for 2 people. And then we think about what we talked about earlier, where what are retirees worried about today more than ever? They're worried about running out of money. But with the Safe Income Advantage, don't have to worry about that. As long as they're alive, they're going to continue to receive a guaranteed payment from F&G. And then, of course, the maintaining lifestyle costs. So I want to encourage everybody on the call, if you're not talking to your clients about increasing income, then you're missing the boat on one of their biggest concerns as they head into retirement, which is maintaining their lifestyle costs. And we all know in today's environment and in the future environment, it's likely going to require a step up in pay to continue to live the lifestyle you live today, because taxes aren't going to go down, home insurance isn't going to go down, utility costs likely aren't going to go down. So making sure our clients can maintain their lifestyle into retirement is going to require some sort of increasing income or option for increasing income in the future. And these two boxes are checked by the Safe Income Advantage. In addition to that, one thing I didn't highlight earlier, but I will here on the next slide about what makes this really different. But when you think about guaranteed income in today's marketplace, there's a lot of different options. There's some that have huge bonuses, huge roll-up rates. Ultimately, what I can tell you about the Safe Income Advantage compared to our competitors is no, you're not going to see a big bonus. You're going to see that great 7.2% compounding roll-up rate, but you're also going to see one of the things that's not listed on here, which is really different and unique about the Safe Income Advantage, is our payouts are based on attained age. So I'll give you a really specific example. My mother-in-law has the Safe Income Advantage. 8 months into her contract, she had a birthday. We turned on income right after the 8-month mark. Why? Because she stepped up to the next payout factor, and because the 7.2% compounding roll-up rate had been crediting each day for the last 8 months. So basically, she was able to take a high guaranteed income and not have to wait the additional 4 months to hit her policy anniversary. So the flexibility of this product will really make it outshine the others in the marketplace. But really, it's a simple design. We put all of our dollars into the payouts, into the roll-up, to make sure that we can meet the needs of today's client, not the client of the past, but today's client. So what you'll find is when income is the ultimate outcome for your client, the Safe Income Advantage provides one of the best paychecks, but definitely the most flexibility of any other product in the marketplace today. And we've also created a ton of resources, not just for you, but also client-facing resources that can allow them to start to think about what kind of guaranteed income paycheck do I need via the income planning tool, but then what about inflation? We partnered with Dr. Michael Finca, and I'll show you on the next slide some of that resources, but I do want to pause here and just ask Kat, are you seeing any questions come in the chat? Anything that I can address before we move on? I'll take that as a no, but while I'm here, I do want to plug our F&G annuity calculator. Hopefully everybody is appointed or will be appointed in the very near future. We do have a calculator on our website. I'm a big proponent of it. It allows you to put in your client's date of birth and really get a finite number of what their income payment would look like. So you have some great resources through IAMS with Annuity Rate Watch and things like that, but they have their parameters, right? They can only show end of year numbers, things like that. So if you have a client that wants to retire in 6 months, they're this age, the annuity calculator can help you solve to the dollar what they would be receiving as a guaranteed income payment from F&G. So it's a really awesome tool that I think everybody in the income space or as a client that's looking for income should be utilizing, because it really allows you to plan for your client, unlike any other carrier where you can say, my client has 100,000, they're going to retire in 6 months. What does that generate for them? And they want to take it monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually. It'll give you that exact dollar figure. And it'll also show you what it would look like for your client if they waited one more month or one more quarter, right? So they can really help them make informed decisions around their retirement. And then, of course, inflation. We've developed a new inflation agent resource site, which will allow you to really think about what's ultimately one of your client's biggest concerns heading into retirement, and allow you to craft your own story around how do you want to talk about inflation to your clients. And it can help you do that and also provide you with some really awesome consumer facing inflation based pieces. So
So sorry, David. I
greatly,
was I was muted
no, you're
later
fine.
earlier. I mean, we did have one question come up. So Leon had asked if there is a simple calculator or a microsite that'll do like income projections based on current age, premium, and deferral. We do have our income quoter on Annuity Rate Watch, but David, I'm not aware of any microsite you guys might have or any calculators.
Yep, so we do. That's actually what I was just highlighting here on the last page. Is on our sales link page when you are appointed with F&G. Right under the illustration software is Annuity Calculator, and that's where you can really dive in and get
Mm-hmm.
really finite numbers for your clients. And I think it highlights a little bit better than Annuity Rate Watch because Annuity Rate Watch only has so
Mm-hmm.
many parameters it can work within, which are end of year numbers based on XYZ payouts. But because your client may have a birthday mid year and because our roll up rate credits daily, what you'll find is in those mid year scenarios, like 1 year, 6 months, 6 months in, F&G actually outshines our competitors because of the increased flexibility we have. And so that calculator can really help you highlight that for your clients.
Nice. Nice.
And then we have the inflation resource, which I'll pause here. If anybody didn't have the chance to grab on that, I would encourage you to grab that and look around because there are a lot of great talking points. We partnered with Dr. Michael Finka, who created a white paper that can actually be found in here as well. It's client friendly and it really allows you to have some talking points around inflation and specifically around inflation compared to bonds, right? So safe income advantage versus bonds in an inflationary period. And I can tell you that the safe income advantage blows bonds out of the water when inflation's high like it is right now. So just a really great opportunity for you to find some talking points around inflation and things you might be able to bring up to your clients. And before we wrap everything up, I do want to throw in on Monday, if you are appointed with F&G, you're going to get an email from F&G to look something like this. Big news, compensation
Mm-hmm.
boost is coming your way. So be on the lookout for some awesome compensation changes that will help you ultimately get in front of more clients, put more dollars into your practice to go out there and help clients turn their aspirations into reality. So keep a lookout on your email. And with that, I will pass it back over to Kat, and Kat can wrap us up here.
Yeah, thank you so much, David. That comp boost also just want to say you guys already have some pretty good comp. So I can
It's only
only
getting better.
imagine it's only getting better exactly. No, and especially in California, it's so hard to do business in California sometimes. I feel like you guys make it so easy. Plus you guys have that impairment multiplier that is still available in California. Um, most other products they are confinement based. They're not ADL based, and two, even if they are ADL based, aren't available in California. So really big deal there. And just that impairment multiplier, that is a huge selling point for this one product that typically, like I would say about 80 to 90% of people that show the F&G Safe Income Advantage typically end up closing it, if not like a higher percentage.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's just all about that increased flexibility. So when your client has that date of birth or has
Hmm.
that birthday, excuse me, date of birth, when they have that birthday, and I can tell you from personal experience, my parents retired and neither of them were within even 6 months of when they were supposed to retire. So having that additional flexibility for when life happens, because it does, especially around retirement, is a big selling point of the safe income advantage versus our competitors. And it doesn't hurt that F&G is a power player in the marketplace
Hmm.
today, right, Kat?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely say you're a power player. I mean, you guys have been around for a really long time. Everybody knows the name F&G. And G. And oftentimes when agents walk into these houses or do their virtual appointments, I think clients realize they don't know what they don't know. They may just know a little bit about F&G, but once we get into the meat and potatoes of all this, it's a very good company with a bunch of credibility behind it. The fact they have Dr. Michael Fink also as a resource here, I think is very powerful. And then that case study you did with your mother-in-law, that's awesome. That's awesome that she was able to collect that higher amount. Even I think you said after was it year 8 or something before her birthday?
No, month eight. Month
Oh,
eight.
month 8. Wow, even
Yep.
better.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I couldn't
Month
believe that.
eight.
That's why I said year 8. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, month eight, and I think you think about timing and what it's allowed for her. It's been really awesome to see, and I mentioned a lot, but products like this, specifically the Safe Income Advantage, allow your client to retire with confidence because you think about when she started receiving her paycheck, it was actually in April of this year, and she has a friend that has a large bond portfolio and equity exposure. And you think about what happened in the marketplace in April, where stocks were down, double digit on average across the board. And for my mother-in-law, it didn't matter because she's receiving the same paycheck from F&G until she dies, right? Well, she actually chose an
Right.
increasing. So every year she's going to see an increase. So the way she's able to retire versus her friends that are watching their portfolio fall by 20% and thinking, oh my gosh, right? Can I take that trip this summer? For my mother-in-law, it doesn't matter because she's getting the check from F&G, she's spending it, and the next month she's getting another one. So just allowing your clients to retire with confidence is a huge deal and a big thing that the Safe Income Advantage can provide.
Yep, yep. That's why I call you guys my power player. That's powerful.
Love it.
All powerful stuff. So I did, for those of you that are still on, thank you so much for still being here and sticking with us. I did launch a poll asking if you would like to appoint with F&G if you are not already. This is something that I would keep in your portfolio, definitely. And then, of course, thank you. Thank you so much for voting. And then, of course, I will be sharing this with everybody that has registered. I'll share a recording and then also ask if they would like to get appointed. And so, um, without further ado, I think that wraps everything up. Thank you again so much, David, for spending the time with us here.
Yeah, thanks for having me and hope everybody has a great weekend.
Absolutely. You too. Thank you so much and take care.